We are at the COA, and we thought it would be appropriate at this stage of the pandemic to tell you and explain how the COA has reacted to the pandemic at the beginning and where we are now. So, of course, the best person to start with, of course, is our fearless leader, Sheila Taylor.
Thank you, Paul.
You can hold it.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So this has been such a crazy time, as we all know, and we've all been living through very uncertain days. The first day that we closed was March 13th, and ironically, it was a Friday the 13th, which I usually love Friday the 13th, but not in 2020. So coming in Monday was probably the worst day of our work lives, because everything we have become to love about the senior center was gone. So we quickly had to regroup. So right away, we started hearing from a number of beautiful community people that wanted to volunteer. They knew that there'd be an immediate need because people were no longer comfortable or felt safe going to grocery stores to get food, going to the drugstore to get prescriptions. So we had over 100 people that volunteered, new volunteers that helped with these daily needs of people. So Beth Wright, our outreach coordinator, is going to talk a little bit more about that. So I'm going to stop at that, but we initiated a meal program with Senior Care. It's called Grab and Go Meals, the same food as Meals on Wheels, and we delivered at the most, and this was probably for about 6 weeks, 110 meals a day, Monday through Friday. About 60 were delivered by our 2 vans, and then 50 were picked up in a drive-by type of fashion every single day, and we had a number of volunteers that helped out to arrange that, to make sure that that happened every day, and that met the need for a long time until we entered phase 2. The middle of phase 2 is when we stopped that, once people felt comfortable going back themselves to the grocery store. So as we're looking now, we're moving forward, but we're also hesitantly looking back and looking at the other side of forward and what does that mean. And we're ready, and we will reassess needs as they arise. If we have to revert back, we will see what the needs are and we'll respond to that. So other things we did, we received new software that allowed us to make robocalls to everybody in our system. So we made over 14,000 robocalls, or we reached over 14,000 people with those robocalls, which during the height of the pandemic for about 12 weeks was a weekly phone call to update people on resources and services, and just to check in and say, please let us know what's going on. So we heard back from people as a result. We also made individual phone calls, probably about 2,000 phone calls individually that all of our staff made, and reassurance phone calls too from some of the volunteers. So that was amazing as well. We had a ton of donations from different businesses in town that helped to brighten some days that we delivered items to people. We also conducted the mobile market, and we had volunteers bring fresh produce and groceries to people in their homes as well. So it was really an amazing effort, and the days flew just really crazy, and we were on more Zoom calls than we ever wanted to think about, but there were a lot of resources to plan and to collaborate with a lot of the community organizations. So we spent a lot of time doing that. We've also done a lot with cable TV. We now have some of our programs on cable. We also have some presentations on Zoom. So we've tried to adapt, and now we feel that it's the window's open a little bit, and we want to take advantage of that. So now there's a large 30 by 30 foot tent in our backyard, essentially, and we are doing some programs outside. We're now also doing some programs inside. We revised the layout of our space, so now we have essentially 2 lounges so that there's enough space between everybody. When you come in, you have to sanitize your hands. It's basically the protocol that everybody uses. You have to sanitize, you have to wear your mask, and you have to be 6 feet apart. Safety is number 1. When people come in, we make sure that that's the case. So some of the programs that we've now started back up, we have drawing class, and that's inside. We are starting Gentle Bend, which is one of our exercise programs. That'll be in the tent. Exercise is starting up on Tuesday. That will be outside because that's just not a safe activity to do inside right now. The knitters are getting together. They want to sit outside. Bingo is happening in the cafeteria, no more than 12 people. They sit. It sort of looks like an old schoolroom that everybody faces the front and they're at their own table, but they're excited to be back together. Tai Chi is happening outside. Seated yoga is happening inside with a maximum of 10 people. We're starting the painters to get together, plein air painting, and it's like a drop-in, and that's happening outside. French class will sort of be that hybrid model that the schools are looking at too, so we'll have some people come inside for class and some people will join by Zoom. And then the writing group would like to resume, and they're going to start that outside. And our low vision group also is starting in September. They'll get together outside. So we're just hoping for good weather from now on. It can't be too hot, it can't be too rainy or too windy, but it's just a nice opportunity for people to get together because the isolation is unbelievable, and it's really been the secondary worry now for us. So that's what we've been up to.
All right. This is one of our returning events. It's the Gentle Bend, sort of modest yoga, but it's really kind of good. But you can see the people are all distanced, spread out, and I think they're limiting the group to 10, $6 a session, which is a pretty good deal. And the first one is free. Okay, second stop here is with Beth Wright, one of our outreach coordinators. I believe you've met, I think, before. I think we interviewed you when you came on board, so you're a veteran of television, stage and screen, okay? But we'll let Beth tell you what's going on.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, it was about 5 years ago that I came on board to the Ipswich Senior Center. In these past 5 years, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, we've seen some dramatic increases in the population here in Ipswich. When I came 5 years ago, Ipswich population of senior 60 plus was about 26%. In the 5 years since when I came in 2015, it's increased up to 36%. So we've really seen not only an increase in the number of seniors that we serve here, but an increase in the complexity of the kinds of needs that we see at the senior center. And with a background in social work, that meant that I moved to more case management kinds of things, as well as support groups and providing the essential services that we've always done, helping people with insurance questions, tax questions, whatever it may be. But that increase meant that with more people moving to Ipswich, that we also needed another outreach worker. So we're really thrilled to be having Jen Flynn join us, and I think, Paul, you'll be interviewing her in a moment.
Indeed.
Great. So yeah, things have been wonderful here at the Senior Center now that we've started to open up again. As Sheila mentioned, I think we all on that first Monday back after the announcement of the shutdown came into work and just thought, you know, here's our livelihood, here's how we live, here's the people we love, and now everything is different. What are we going to do? And I just want to say, as a staff with a great leader, it was just a wonderful opportunity to say, we're going to change and we're going to meet the needs, and people are going to let us know what they want. Not only did people call us to say, like, we need some support, but volunteers came out of the woodwork. As Sheila mentioned, we had over 100 very active volunteers throughout the pandemic that did grocery shopping for us, for the seniors here in Ipswich that were not comfortable going to the grocery store. They did medication pickup for people. They provided reassurance calls to people that were homebound. We had people of all ages, high school students, college students, staff members here at Town Hall that couldn't offer enough help. So we are so grateful to them for their participation. Ipswich has always had a very strong volunteer presence here at the COA. As many of you know, they provide medical transportation for people that need to get to appointments out of town. So because of the pandemic, we also had more people offer to do medical transportation. So now that we're opening up, we're also finding that the doctors in the area are not just doing The telehealth calls now, their offices are starting to open, so we have a good supply of people that are willing to help get people to their medical appointments also. So that's been kind of a good change for us now that things are lightening up. I want to say that the space that we've created here, I think people are feeling comfortable. We do still ask you to call us if you'd like to come in, because we're trying to monitor those numbers, trying to not maybe have more than 8 to 10 people in one section of the Council on Aging at a time. But we are having people that drop by too, and we welcome you if we have space to accommodate you. So we're doing hand sanitizing when you walk in the door. All of the staff, although we're not wearing our mask while we're being filmed here today, the staff wears masks at all times. And we have extra masks. If you get here and you've forgotten yours, we're happy to provide one for you. So I think we've provided a safe atmosphere. Food that we always had as a way to enjoy and welcome you. We still have it, but it's pre-wrapped, or you could bring your own, but we're happy to serve you coffee and water. We want you to be comfortable. We want you to come back. We miss you, and we want to have you here and enjoy your company.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would like to congratulate the COA for their work that they've done. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to the COVID, and in some of the driving that I've done of our van lately, I can see the fear when we delivered meals, and I think these people have done an incredible job of making check calls and what have you, and I think it gives relief and comfort to those who are basically housebound. A lot of them are still afraid. We are still running the van. We take people to Market Basket. We limit it to 3. And there is distancing on the van, but so we continue some of our outside services. But here's our newest employee, Ms. Jen Flynn.
Hi, I'm Jen Flynn. I just started a couple weeks ago here at the Council on Aging in Ipswich, working with the whole staff, but primarily with Beth on outreach. So I am looking forward to connecting with as many of you as possible. I will tell you my cell phone before my interview is over, so if you have a pen and paper, you can take my cell phone down. And now it seems to be a lot of calls, but as you've heard from Sheila and Beth, people are starting to walk through the door. So I do hope that we can meet face to face as well. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I know a lot of what I'll be doing is helping people use the resources that we provide, or the resources that we can inform you about to help you with any issues or things that are being brought up because of COVID. I hope you'll always reach out to us, and we look forward to meeting you. And my cell phone is 978-500-6092. I come on Tuesdays and Thursdays here, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks.
Sheila is showing our camera person a collection of the photographs that were taken and shared on Facebook during the early days of the pandemic, and some of them were quite funny. In addition to the pictures being amusing, they're quite heartwarming. And go to Facebook and go to the COA page. There's A, some good information, and B, there's some humor. And I think it lives up to the goal of what the COA here is all about.